tend to take the swine flu vaccine. I'm not, don't trust it, but then I don't want to get the disease either. So I use PureWorks, a unique disinfectant that comes in foam or spray form. PureWorks is not your typical hand disinfectant. There is no alcohol to dry your skin, and it lasts for hours, not minutes. Use PureWorks to protect yourself from disease and infection. You can find out all about it and order it online at nogerms.info. That's nogerms.info. Don't introduce potentially dangerous chemicals or toxins into your body to keep you well when they could actually cause the sickness you want to avoid. Don't pick your nose. Don't shake hands, and don't handle banisters, rails, and doorknobs. Do try PureWorks, available online at wholesale pricing to Alex Jones listeners. Go to nogerms.info. That's nogerms.info. Be well and stay well. Best MZ.
Are you wondering about your retirement portfolio? Are you confident that the financial advisor is experienced enough to combat climbing interest rates, taxes, and inflation? Stop guessing and go to the expert, Robert Chapman of the International Forecaster. When you subscribe to the International Forecaster, you get Robert Chapman's 45 years of experience and concise investment recommendations. Who needs sugar-coated excuses when you can get the cold hard facts and proven investment leads you can't get anywhere else? For a free introductory copy to Robert Chapman's International Forecaster, subscribe now at theinternationalforecaster.com or call 877-479-8178. Experience the difference. When you subscribe, you can email Robert Chapman directly to obtain investment advice tailored just for you. Don't wait another minute. Subscribe today at theinternationalforecaster.com or call 877-479-8178. That's 877-479-8178.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
I have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today, it seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv.
Remain in your houses. The President of the United States has declared martial law under Executive Order 11,004.
Will they do it? Will they pull the trigger this time? We all pray they stand down, but an engineered crisis seems more likely with each passing day. Think it can't happen here? Executive Order 10990 locks down all highways. Executive Order 10995 seizes control of all media outlets. Executive Order 10998 controls all farms and food supplies. All these executive orders are now cocked, loaded, and waiting for the right crisis. So if you're worried about the possibility of martial law here in America or have questions about how to survive it, go to martiallawsurvival.com. That's martiallawsurvival.com. Go to martiallawsurvival.com right now.
You must remain in your houses until your bracelets are scanned.
Keep your eye on that building. It'll be coming down. The building is about to blow up. Move it back. All right, guys.
We are looking back. There's a building about to blow up. On flame. Debris coming down.
Just in the last few seconds, another building, building number 7, one of the buildings in support of the World Trade Center towers, has collapsed.
Okay, guys, back that up to the first again, and there's literally scores of these clips. This is police saying, get back, they're bringing it down, it's coming down. And I heard that on CBS radio that day, but then we have the news clips where BBC reports it's fallen before it fell.
Yeah, I read about that.
Okay, let's go ahead and roll the clip again from the start for everybody, where the police are saying, get back. And then I've interviewed Craig Bartmer and other police officers who were there, and they said they walked up to FEMA and said, "What are you doing?" And they said, "Countdown, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, run for your lives." There was a countdown on the radio to blow up 7. Let's go ahead and play it. Here it is.
Keep your eye on that building. It'll be coming down.
Building is about to blow up. Moving back.
Back here. All right, guys? Sorry.
We are looking back.
Okay, so that's 3 different police saying, keep your eye on it. The whole thing's about to come down. It's about to blow up. Get back. And then we went and found police officers that were there. We also have a Democracy Now! Show where they were live when it happened.
Okay, but isn't it possible, is it possible, rather, that those cops were saying that the building's going to fall because it was about to collapse? Because it was just on fire?
No steel building had never collapsed from fire until 3 that day.
That's true. Yeah.
No. And then we have Silverstein saying we made the decision to pull it, gave the order, and watched it come down.
So you believe that the reason why they brought this down was whatever documents they had in there were very incriminating, and they had gotten away with a lot of different, a lot of corruption, and that's why they brought that down, because it just makes everything else disappear.
Well, they picked a site where they could destroy a building and then cover up their evidence during another attack they were using as a pretext to launch wars.
So you firmly believe that the attacks on the Twin Towers were premeditated by the United States government in order to bring us into war?
I believed it 8 years ago on 9/11, that night you came on.
Yeah, you did. It's fascinating, really, when you think about it, because, everyone, this is the main problem with conspiracy theories. The number one problem is that when you bring them up, you look foolish. So people don't even want to bring up the possibility that they exist. But when you look into U.S. history, you look into the Gulf of Tonkin, you look into the Northwoods document where they were planning fake terror attacks on American civilians in order to get us into a war with Cuba from 1962. When you look into that stuff and you realize that everything evolves, science evolves, culture evolves, and, corruption evolves too. The corruption that is that deep that could run the government, the corruption that can kill Kennedy, the corruption that can fake wars or fake attacks rather to bring us into war like they did with the Gulf of Tonkin and brought us into Vietnam, that doesn't go away. It gets bigger and stronger. As long as it isn't exposed, as long as some massive arrest didn't take place and hundreds and thousands of people were brought to justice and paraded out on television. No, the biggest corruption ever was Watergate. And what was that? He was spying on some other people. That's it. That's nothing.
And now we just expect the government to spy on us.
But if you compare that to what we know has taken place, just the Gulf of Tonkin, just that, the fake attack that brought us into the Vietnam War, just the idea that the Northwoods document was actually signed by the Joint Chiefs of Staff. They sat down and they said, yes, we agree. This idea of fake terror attacks on American civilians is a good idea. People are going to die for lies, for theater that they're going to create. They're going to create these, the fake Cuban attacks. That's scary, scary stuff. And if no one was brought to justice, and they weren't, it's not like that stopped and everybody just got a conscience and met in the parking lot and all held hands and sang Kumbaya and decided, well, we're not going to be douchebags anymore. We're going to be nice the way we run the world. There's no way. That's not what happened. And, people don't want to look at the possibility that our government is involved in some really scary, really shady stuff that involves the death of our own citizens for profit. People don't want to look at that, but it is possible.
Absolutely.
It really is possible.
And 30 years ago, even a decade ago, they called it a conspiracy theory to say the Gulf of Tonkin in 1964 was a conspiracy theory. Now it's been declassified. The LBJ tapes have been released. They did stage the whole thing. And 58,000 Americans died and over 1 million Vietnamese. So
the History Channel has said that the United States had advance warning about Pearl Harbor and that they allowed it to happen to bring us into World War II. That was on the History Channel. Not that it means anything. Ari Shafir, I think you need a microphone if you want to speak to the entire world.
Hey, we can hook another mic up.
Stoned-ass bitch forgot he was on the radio. How dare you? How dare you, Shafir?
We need to get Homeland Security in here and arrest him.
I know. He's carrying illegal drugs in his system right now.
Did you hear?
Illegal nature.
Did you hear that Homeland Security put out a report? We got it and released it. We'll come back and talk about it after this break. Where they admit that their main threat is conservatives, gun owners, libertarians, and veterans, and the whole police state grid.
Well, those are the people that are organized. Hippies will complain, but veterans,
stay there.
Frozen food out in the desert.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
The illusion created by the power elite is a lie that covers even the food they want you to eat. Will you continue to be their profit center, buying their processed food that makes you sick? Go to the doctor and buy their drugs? You don't have to cooperate.